Welcome to the Freelancers Coffee Break podcast. I'm your host, Ali, and with my co host, Mehmet, we talk about freelancing. So, today, what are we going to talk about, Mehmet?
Upwork in 2023. How was Upwork in the past year?
Well, I definitely did not spend as much time as I used to on the platform. But yeah, the changes are weird in a way. I don't get it. There are a lot of updates. They actually renewed the site and the app, right?
Yeah, they made quite a lot of changes. Yeah, visually they changed it. Even the apps, as you said, they changed it.
Yeah, they did like a whole on the website. They did like a whole change.
Yeah, UI UX change, larger buttons,
Yeah,
rounded corners.
new functions. But yeah, for the better, no.
Yeah, first of all, still Upwork, I think, is the best platform for freelancing at the moment. Still, out of all other platforms compared. When I mean the best, for the advanced freelancers who want to make higher earning, because compared to others, there are lots of others, Fivers and others, who are more focused on low pay jobs. Upwork is trying to push to higher paying jobs at the moment still. And for that reason, I think it's still the best platform for freelancers to find work. That's the case.
For sure. But like for those who have been using Upwork for a long time, like even today, so if I get disconnected somehow, or if my screen locks, whatever, and then I just get back on the screen on my desktop, and when I look at the app, it just says getting connected. But it's not getting connected. The messages are not updating, and I'm using the last update. And this has been ongoing. Actually, this was a couple of years ago when they changed the site and the app. So this has been going on since then. I changed my computer, and it's still going on. So
You know what the issue is? What you need to sort it out when you have that problem? You have to connect a VPN and connect US. For some reason, they give priority to US. And when you get a VPN and connect to USA,
oh my god, oh my god,
it just connects.
is this true?
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
I had this issue in the morning. I just connected VPN to US and it connected.
Oh my god. But that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. But whenever I see that red, cannot connect to Messenger or anything, I just turn on the VPN, fire up the application again, just gets connected.
When I fire up the application again, it gets connected here too. But the thing is, like, it's like a bug. It used to never do that. But yeah, that's only like some technical stuff. There's also the fact that they changed the system with the connects, and which was very simple and straightforward.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest change. It used to be 2 credits for every job. Then they increased to some were
4 and 6.
yeah, 6, then 4, 6. Now it goes up till 16.
There was like a connect inflation, I guess, within Upwork.
But this is that kind of inflation is never been seen anywhere in the world, I think.
Yeah,
It's even higher than the Turkish inflation,
yeah.
which is around 100%.
But also, like the amount of connects, they raised the amount of connects you can buy for a certain amount of money. So that whole also has increased. So, but not as much when you relate it to the number of connects you get. It's weird. It's definitely weird. And you can never apply to a job for 2 connects anymore.
No. Lowest I think is 4,
Hmm.
but for me, the lowest I see is 8. And what I think is that for anyone who decides to be a freelancer now on Upwork, has 1/10 of the chance we used to have, because you when you start you miss a lot of projects, then you get one and then you start your career. Now think of it, you register on Upwork and you have to buy all those credits and you have to spend them, And what do you think is the chance of someone who has no job history on Upwork? It's very low and it's very difficult. You have to try a lot. Once upon a time, I remember the days Upwork used to give 60 credits free of charge every month.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually after COVID. Everything changed after COVID because, yeah, freelancing was just booming. And I guess they had to make some changes, but still, like, it feels unfair in a way. Not for me. I'll pay the connects.
Yeah, I can pay as well.
Yeah, not for me, but for someone who's starting out. It's rough.
I think they are trying to decrease number of people who applies to a job. But even then, even with 16 credits, let's say I wake up in GMT plus 3 Istanbul time and wake up, turn on my computer and look at the last 8 hours. And when I go 4 hours behind or 3 hours behind, let's say I see a very nice job and I look how many people applied. 53. 53 people submitted 16 credits to a job. That means the if the client is looking at the proposals, I don't know how many proposals can he see in a page, 10 or 15, I don't know, not 20. Even if it is 10, and that means you'll be on the sixth page if you decide to apply it as well.
I wonder if, Mehmet, maybe you know, when you're posting a job as a client, do they tell you anything? Is there any warnings? Like, please make sure you'll hire someone when you apply.
No, they don't do that. And you can submit a job free of charge. You don't pay anything. So that's why you see sometimes the same job submitted many times. The same job is submitted a couple of times by the same person. I don't know if anyone spends money on each of them, for example.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I never seen them recently. These multiple postings, but I see a lot of shit posts. That's for sure. But yeah, there are good jobs too, Mehmet. Still.
Yeah, certainly. Another thing is after these increases, what Upwork has invented is boosting proposals. And when I look at, okay, 53 people applied, I wouldn't apply to a job that already there are 53 proposals. Let's say there are 12, 20. I say, okay, this is an interesting job. I'll still want to apply to it. I open it and at the bottom there is boost your proposal. And you see people who spend 50.
I think it's an arrogant move, I think, to go and just boost your proposal to 50. If you consistently are doing that, like if I was doing it consistently, if I had enough resources, or if I was like fucking stupid enough to do that, there's something wrong with them, man. And I see people doing it all the time. They must be rich.
Or they want to keep, by submitting 50, they want to block that area, and so that no one will submit 51 or 50 or 60 proposals, so they'll be always on the top. But I don't know if it will work, because sometimes I tried a couple of projects to be boosted. What I see is that there are cases, even if I boost, the client doesn't look at it. Even if you're at the top, there are cases that the client just doesn't look at it. Either doesn't like your bid, your price, or how you started, but they just don't click on you. That's one thing. And if I decide to boost something, the tactic I do is to boost it minimum possible, like the third or fourth one. Okay. I'm hoping that the client will look at it during that time, but someone will outboost me and send me down, because then Upwork refunds you if you are not in top four.
Yeah, but they just refund you the small amount in between the highest bid.
No, they refund you if you are out of that.
But they do not refund you the whole connects, Mehmet.
No. Let's say the job is 16 connects and you say, I'll do it 20 connect. And then you are at the fourth level, which is the lowest. And the client looks at you. And then after you, someone decides to give 21 1 credit.
Yeah, they outbid you.
Yeah, they outbid me. What I'm refunded is the 4 credits because applying was the 16. Okay, I spent 20. They refund me those 4 credits that I tried to bid.
That's all they refund. Yeah, they just take the rest. Connect stuff is kind of, I don't like it. And like, don't people feel like, don't they know? Like, when I see the amount of connects they returned, I'm not fucking happy. I'm not saying, oh, because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help at all. Just give me my money. Okay, you're making me gamble. But that's their, like, yeah, it is kind of a gamble, and that's maybe their logic. So they're saying, hey, like, this is a gamble if you want to do it. So it's like an option, so you're willingly doing it. So yeah.
Upwork wants you to spend more money, even maybe more than the clients. They are trying to increase their earning. In last 40 days or even more, maybe it's been 2 months since I boosted any proposal. So it's something I rarely do. If if a client wants to see my proposal, they would see. I think the more effective one is what you bid and how you start your proposal. The more sincere the proposal is, there's a higher chance, using their name and starting with the definition of the project and so on makes more impact than, those boosting things, I think.
There's also the rate increase. Off the record, you said something critical today. You said, I just say never. Yeah, that's the way to go. Because people are afraid. They are afraid. They will never want to go for it. Like, the rate increase they are seeing. Yeah, are you crazy? Why would they let that happen?
Yeah, something going automatic. Yeah.
My thought was, after you said never, that's like the first step. And yeah, and the logic is this: after a year, you're like, hey, it's been a year. So yeah, my rates are increasing. If you want to move forward with me, you can. But yeah, if you don't want to, goodbye. So it gives you leverage.
Yeah, I think that's also a good reason to end the contract at the end of the year, because if you keep your contract on ever, they can't leave any comments. You are making money, that's nice, but you say, okay, let's say you have an hourly contract and you say next year I'll be increasing to this level. Let's end this contract and start a new one. And so you can also leave some comments and they can see how much you made and so on. So it's good for your overall ratings as well.
Yeah, it's a no, because I was always saying 10%, and I'm never gonna do that again. But even that, I took one job with 10% increase. So
I also tried a couple of jobs, but I think it's much better just say it never, and when time comes when you feel you earn it, just contact the client and say let's increase it, because the other is too automatic. They don't know you well enough and they are like committing a price increase from day one.
that's so unlogical and so irritating.
If you are, let's say, paying ChatGPT subscription and ChatGPT tells you will automatically be increasing our rates, what would you do?
Oh my God, so disturbing. Why would I want to know that? Let me just, get a taste of this first. So, yeah, totally agreed. Yeah.
What they do, even if they are going to, they'll just send you an email and then said, starting January 1st, our rates will be increasing to this. If we would like you to continue, etc., etc. They'll do something like that. They just won't tell you that will be increasing rates every year from the day one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah, so don't do that. It's a no. Yeah, so what else, Mehmet? What else is there? There's more. There's more. There's like boost your profile.
Yeah, there's the boost. That was the last one they added. Boost your profile. Did you try it ever?
No. Because like there are two functions:
There's availability badge.
availability badge, and that was before.
It's on for me. Yeah, that was like mid-year, I think.
And it's cheap. Connect wise, it's cheap, right?
Yeah, 2 credits per week. That makes 8 credits a month. And I'm okay with it, and it's on for me. I don't know if it helps me much or not, but I leave it on. I tried boost your profile. You decide on the subject you would like to be boosted on. For example, you say podcast editing, and if someone types in podcast editing, your profile will be shown, and if they on the top when they are trying to invite someone, and if they click on your name, they'll just drop those credits you commit from your from your bank.
Okay, so it's like Google Ads within Upwork.
Exactly, it's just same mentality. I tried it for 2 months and didn't have any effect. I'm not using it anymore.
Okay, yeah. They're testing. This is all test. They're just like, this is all new.
Yeah, I like testing as well.
Yeah, so it's good that like, yeah, you give us a heads up. Yeah, we should check that again in maybe like 2 years if they still have that function.
Maybe it will work for you. Try it, sometime for podcast editing, and let me know if it will. Maybe it's not working for retouchers, or I should spend more credits for it. But I don't do it anymore.
No, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Then they had something called Talent Clouds. It was beta in 2022. In 2023, they made it live. Now you can add friends, and hopefully I think they hope that you'll make your own teams through Upwork. You're in my talent cloud, for example. You add friends, other freelancers.
Yeah, it's a good way to. Are you talking about the network stuff?
Yeah, networking. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good way to like store people where like people you plan to work with or like you would work with,
exactly.
whatever, you know. So it's a good way to network actually. And you can even like message with each other.
Did it work for you at all?
Yeah, I messaged this guy from like Bosnia or something. Yeah, he just added me to his network and he's there. I don't even remember why I messaged him, but
Okay.
yeah, we have each other. Yeah.
I added you. I also received some invites from other people who would like to work for me, but most of them were asking work from me, so it didn't create anything for me. And there was one person who wanted to be my assistant from Philippines. Said, when you're sleeping, I can apply jobs for you.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't try it yet, but it's a tactic, for them.
I did that job. I did that job. It works. It works. I know it works. You know, I was the one sending, proposals for some time. So, as the person who's in the Philippines, I know it works. So you should go for her. Yeah, it's a good idea.
But then you should form a agency on Upwork and give her some rights to propose on your behalf, I guess, because you cannot give your username password for her that she'll.
Yeah, I was using his password.
I think that's too risky.
Yeah, still too risky. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a case past year in Payoneer. There had been some phishing attacks that people just took money from Payoneer accounts and sent them to their own account.
Yeah, crazy. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Pioneer hijacks.
Okay, except Project Catalog, we talked all of the Upwork features. And for Project Catalog, I have it there, but it didn't have any use for me. But you used it as well.
Yeah, it's just that's old. They had that there for some time.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, I guess. Okay, last one is let's talk about Payoneer hack. Then we can end this episode.
Basically, let me start with how it happens so people are safe. So I think you get an email and it looks like you got this email from Pioneer. Then, you click that. It just leads you to a page which looks like Pioneer, and you log in and it redirects you to Pioneer's login page again, but to the real one this time. The first page is fake. So when you enter your password and your username, they just take that and they redirect you to Pioneer so you're not suspicious about anything. So then you log in again and there your money is gone. Yeah, they got your passport. Yeah.
They do it like this. They make you log in. They say, please log in, correct something, etc. You log in. They take your username and password, and whatever you do, even if you write the wrong username password or right username password, probably you're doing the right one. They give an error. Error, redo it. When they redo it, you go to your real website and you do it, and you log into your page, and you're not suspecting anything because you did it everything nicely. And they wait probably for a day. Next day, when you are sleeping or after hours, they just log in with the password and they create a new account for your money to be transferred. And all monies are transferred to, for some reason, maybe there's a flow or ease of use, they are transferred to Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean they took money from two people we know of. So this is only like or a small group of people. So I'm talking about like 120, 170 people on the WhatsApp group. So
Probably they get above $1 million then, if probably 10K from there, 10K from there, close to $1 million most likely.
what do you mean $1 million?
Total amount they just took out from the system.
Oh, maybe more.
Maybe more, yeah. So what you should be doing, first of all, maybe Payoneer really sends you an email, but when they want you to check something, just don't click on the link. Just personally either type payoneer.com and then log in, or use your original phone application. I also don't do it with my own banking, for example. Even if they send me, okay, please update your password or please check something, I just don't click on the link there. I just open a new page, and for banking, I have my bookmarks. Click on the bank name and just go to that bookmark. Have your Payoneer account bookmarked and click on that instead of clicking on the emails.
Yeah. Yes, better be safe. Yeah, so Mehmet, this is it then.
This is it.
We're done. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask. All right, then. Don't forget to join our LinkedIn group, Freelancers Coffee Break. What do you think about the FCB podcast? What do you think?
FCB, yeah.
Yeah,
This is like MQBH YouTube channel. Huh?
yeah, the FCP podcast, and then we'll have a description under it saying Freelancers Coffee Break. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You said it's too long. You said it yourself. Okay, let's go.
Talk to you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye bye.